Now if you're like me, you love a bit of Blender. I still remember the first time downloading the Ruddy thing. I think I'd seen some fancy video on YouTube and thought, I want to do that. I can show everyone in the pub. So I downloaded the latest version and started on a tutorial. It takes ruddy ages, but I finally render my masterpiece. I'll save it and proudly show the missus. And she says it's rubbish. Well, what does she know anyway? So I take it to the pub and show my mate Freddie Fingers. But the footy's on. So he looks and says, "What's that?" And as I'm answering, Man United score. So no one hears me say, "It's a donut." At which point, I'm starting to feel like one, mate. Well, I couldn't work out why no one cared about my work, so I did the most obvious thing you could do in a situation like this. I prayed to Blender Guru for some answers. And after that didn't work, I thought long and hard and realised something. My work wasn't interesting, mate. Everyone was into their own thing. Well, my computer was old and I still wasn't good at Blender, so there was only one way I could improve. I realised if I wanted my work to stand out, I've got to use story. See, Blender's good for making stuff and the tutorials on YouTube are great to follow, but to bring our modelling to life, we need a story. And I know not everyone on Blender can use stories like compositors and people making game assets and that, but hear me out, fellas. Stories is what we care about, son. It's simple. When you turn the telly on, most of the adverts are about a story. That's how they try and get us to buy that ruddy rubbish. And another thing as well, 65% of conversations is story. Put it this way, mate. If you're in an office on a Monday morning, do you want to hear the latest sales report or do you want to hear who the boss got caught snogging in the toilets? See what I mean? And yeah, it was Stacey. So I know what you're thinking. You're watching the video going, yeah, some of what you're saying makes sense, Blenderverse, but how do I make a proper story in my render? Alright, I'll tell ya. All a good story needs is a geezer that wants something. Got it?
What do you want? What do you want?
It's not that simple.
What do you want?
Alright, maybe it ain't that basic, but stories are complicated. In other videos, I'm going to talk about other things you can put in there. But once you get the basic ingredient right, everything else follows. Pretty simple. Only remember this. Before you open Blender, plan out what you're trying to do and think of a story that backs it up. Here's the point of the Ruddy video. Most people don't give a monkeys about what we've made if it ain't interesting or it ain't entertaining. Most people out there don't even know what Blender is. If you ask the average bloke what topology is, he'll tell you his uncle died from it. Not that it ain't important, but it's got to be backed up with something good and proper, a proper story, son. So, when you're making something next time, try and think of a story. Make it entertaining, make it funny, make it so that the audience out there that don't know what Blender is has a bit of fun and enjoys it. See you later, mate.